what that really feels like is a real missed opportunity. Just in general, Monday night was just part of that, but in the division, it was a real opportunity, and we didn't play well enough on the offensive side with the turnovers that add up. That'll be what you talk about and all, but it really we didn't play well enough, and they covered us up pretty good. I'm anxious to see the film. I was surprised that they did such a nice job on defense, on pass defense against us. We came out of it okay as far as getting banged up. Happy about that. Really like what's going on in the defense. Couple second halves here, just terrific D, and we're going to need that to play together. But we know we missed the opportunity, and there's so many different ways that we'll get better, and so we got to go back to work really quickly and get ready for this game coming up.
Pete, I know you say it's easy to look at the turnovers, but we got to look at the turnovers. Three interceptions by the quarterback. That's usually a non-starter. Anything that you could put your finger on that?
Yeah, well, he took a couple shots. He threw a couple bombs down there, and one of them was on about the 2, and the other one was in the end zone. I think, if that's right. Yeah, the reason that he got there because we had time to hold the football, so we protected okay, and we didn't get the ball thrown underneath. That's what I wish we would have done. I wish we would have not taken those shots. And they looked a little like we had to score quick or something. I don't feel like that when we play is the way that we should ever play. But so we got to take what's there, and we got to take a look at the film, and I got to see why that happened like that. Just surprised. We haven't looked like that at all at any time. So it's the first time that came up.
Pete, Geno tonight a couple of times obviously looked like he was limping. Did his health have anything to do with that performance?
No, he was all right. I mean, he took off and ran and made some yards too. There was a little something from last week, but it wasn't bothering him. He was okay. He made it through all the tests and all of that. So I think he'll feel more confident, as he goes out again, comes back, but and maybe push it. But I don't think that was a big issue tonight.
Pete, two-parter, if you would. If we can go back to your first answer on Geno and the picks, just in general, overall, his decision-making tonight, your thought process, and I know you said he had to take, or he took a couple of shots, whether he wanted to or not, but just the overall of his decision-making. And second, with Brock Bowers coming in banged up, little limited, did that play a role in play calling and maybe adjustments in terms of targeting?
I got to talk to Chip about that. If we were concerned about him. He only practiced one day during the week, and he seemed okay and all that, but you saw us go to him more in the second half because he survived the first half and made it through it. I thought like we were impatient with the throwing game, and that's why the ball went down the field so far, and I don't think we needed to do that. And so, but again, I don't want to talk too much until I see the film about the specifics of that. But it's disappointing. I know that the picks are a big issue, but that's not my concern. My concern is why we didn't get the ball thrown and caught underneath, and we wound up taking those shots.
Pete, first drive of that second half, 11-plus minutes, I think 5 third-down conversions. What did you like on that drive, and how did that mirror what you guys worked on?
Yeah, we were 50% on third down in this game, and that should generally get you a chance to hold the football and move it. Well, I thought we converted well, and that's what happened. Did you say there was 5 third downs on that drive? Yeah. Well, that's what happened on that drive, and there were 3rd and 5s, and I think we might have hit a 3rd and longer than 11 or 12 one time. Jacoby did a great job making his plays and his catches. So we're capable of throwing the ball like that, and we're capable of being that kind of showing that kind of consistency. We have to stay patient, and I think it felt like if I was going to say it felt like we were impatient at times in this game.
Pete, less than 20, right over here, Pete.
I'm sorry.
Less than 20 carries tonight for Ashton Genty. Any reason why I haven't been able to heavily feature him? And is that something you want to, get going?
We're just getting started. We're just getting started. He's breaking into the NFL. He's figuring it out. When he had 11 or something carries tonight, is that what he had? 11, yeah. Oh, he'll get more. That'll come. We're going to have to run the football better than we did, more effectively. We got to get more yards. We had 50 or 60 yards or something rushing. That's not enough. We got to get more than that. So. I'd like to see that just as well as you would, but as far as pushing the issue with him, trying to get him 25 carries or something like that, we're breaking him in, and so that'll come. Yeah.
Pete, your first home game here, the fans were loud. I'd just like to get your impressions of Allegiant Stadium as
I
the,
thought the crowd was excellent. I thought that was a fantastic crowd, and they were a factor, and you could feel them. They rose to the big occasions when we needed them to. We needed to give them more to cheer about and get ahead in this game so we could feel what that would be like. But I thought it was a really good showing, and it felt like a real home game with an advantage. So I was really pleased about it. I didn't know what to expect, so I was really pleased with that.
Hey Pete, you mentioned it a couple times earlier in these earlier comments when Geno was when he turned the ball over. He was throwing the ball on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 15 after either a neutral or a negative play right ahead of it. How do you build more balance on 1st and 2nd down?
Yeah, we didn't feel like there was consistency, and that's part of the question about the running game being kind of in the middle of all of that. But what happened tonight? Geno's a 70% guy, and I don't know, he wasn't that tonight, and the more so was because of the attempts that we made. I thought that took away from that, and we just got to take what's given to us. I'm not sure that that's the case until I see the film, but I bet that's what it is.
Coach, great work on the offense, or I'm sorry, on the defensive side today as well.
I'm
What are
sorry,
your
could you
thoughts
raise
on
your
that?
hand?
Sorry,
The
right
lights
here
are
in the
such I
center.
can't find you. Okay.
Great movement here on the defensive side. What are your thoughts on the big plays you guys made late in the game to give yourself some hope?
Yeah, I think this is a defense that's going to come together and continue to be really difficult on our opponents. The running game has not been the issue at all. We've been able to get some rush. We've made some plays. Our corners made some nice plays tonight. You got to give credit to Justin Herbert. He's a really good player, and he made good decisions and good choices. And when he had his open guy, he made the big play. That was just a crushing play because it was an easy play for us to defend, and we just got caught up a little bit and misread the big corner route that the guy ran. But other than that, I thought the whole night was good defense. I thought they rose to the occasions. I think it was 4 for 13 or 14 on 3rd downs, big time there. The running game wasn't there. We had a couple sacks. And we made some plays, So I think that's a big positive side of what we've shown here in the first couple of weeks, that those guys can go. We got to keep it going. What just happened doesn't mean nothing. Well, what are we going to do now? That's what's going to count. So we got to come back against the Commanders and get rolling.
Pete, right here.
Yeah, thank you.
Geno is someone has the utmost confidence in his arm, and he's willing to throw the ball and sometimes in double, triple covers. But is there a time where you kind of have to pull him to the side and say, "Hey, we can't"?
Yeah, it felt like that tonight. That's right. It felt like that tonight, and he had a lot of time back there. He had a chance to look and see. Didn't like what he saw underneath, and gave those guys some shots down the field, which he's tremendous at doing, basically. So I'm not supporting some of the choices there. I need to see what happened though. I want to see if he had other options that we could have got the ball out of his hands. So. He'll play. He's been a 70% guy for the last 4 or 5 years. He'll be right back at it, just like he was last week.
Pete, there was a report that Tom Brady meets 3 times a week or so with Chip Kelly, goes over film with him. We saw him up in the booth with a headset on. I just was curious your thoughts on that level of participation with Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's not accurate. That's not accurate. That's not accurate. We have conversations. I talk to Tom. Chip talks to Tom regularly. I mean, we have a tremendous asset, and so and we all get along well, and we respect each other, and so we just talk, about life and football and whatever it comes, and he has great insight. So we're lucky to have him as an owner.
You guys all set? Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
in this offense, how much latitude do you have to audible?
I mean, given the play, I mean, it depends on which play it is, but I mean, you can audible any play at any down, but you want to do things in structure, things that you've practiced. So, we won't just go out there and just make audibles just to make them. Everything that we do is built in within the system, and I'm not sure why you asked that question, but that's pretty much how we do it. Within the system, we like to make checks and stuff like that.
Geno, in terms of tonight, we asked Pete just about spot decision making, especially the ones where you took shots downfield. Can you just sort of summarize what took place and where you were at, in the game at the moment in taking those shots, especially the ones that got picked?
Yeah, the first play of the game was a play that we designed. We had an open guy, led him a little bit too far out front. Ball gets tipped up, gets interception. A play that obviously you want to have those plays back. You can't. I mean, it's the reality of it. Took a shot to Dante, before the half. I thought he had a safety on him. Thought he had a shot. I gave him a chance. Obviously, didn't work out in our favor. So again, those are things that I got to learn from and be better at. Anything that doesn't look right out there, you put that on my feet, put that on my shoulders. I feel like I got to be a lot better for our guys. I know I have to, and I will be. And then, the one to Jacoby, had a DB with his back turned. They were playing Tampa 2. Thought I could fit it in there. Obviously, we need to score 7 points in that situation. A field goal would have helped us, but 7 points would have put us in a better position. Ball gets tipped up again. I thought I put it in a decent spot where our guy can make a play. Ball gets tipped up. They make a play on it, and we don't get points. And so, I'm never going to make any excuses about anything. I've got to be better. We got to be better, and we got a short week to improve on that.
Geno, you the type of quarterback that just flushed that game. It's kind of an unusual game for you, not up to your normal standards. Are you able to do that, or do you go back and watch it and learn from it? How do you kind of process and move on from a game like this?
No, I've got to learn from it. You know what I mean? This game's all about learning from your experiences, and this is a game, again, I've had similar games in the past where things that, the ball is bounced, in an unfortunate way, or, decisions haven't, I make the best decision on a given play or the best throw. That's a part of the game, but you can never just say you can flush it. You got to learn from it. And so, I'm going to be super hard on myself, extremely hard on myself, because that's all I know. I'm going to get better this week. I'm going to find ways to get better from this film, and we'll be better as a team as well.
Geno, Pete talked about right here. He talked about how they covered, and maybe didn't use the word surprise, but he seemed to say maybe they were a little better than even coming in. You thought, what did you think in terms of how they covered and how they played defense?
Yeah, I mean, it was on tape. Last year they had a top 10 defense. They played really well in the red zone. All the things that we saw on tape, we expected them to do. They're a 90% zone team. I think they probably did that today. They stuck to what they do. They play their stuff. They play it well. They communicate. They get out there. They fly around. Hats off to those guys for playing a tremendous game. But for us, man, we never underestimate anybody. We expect it's the NFL. All these guys are capable. They're all worthy to be out there. So we got to go out there and make plays, and today we didn't.
Geno right here in the middle. So, I mean, obviously between last week, you had one of the best games in the league last week, and you come into this game and obviously with this performance, was this a situation where you basically just kind of said that they made you play their game, so something along those lines? Did they do anything that they hadn't shown that maybe surprised you when you came?
No, I didn't think anything was a surprise out there. I just think the way that they play, the way that teams have been playing as of recent, there's going to be a lot of too high shells. There's going to be a lot of zone coverages. They're going to force offenses to be disciplined. And if you don't run the ball consistently, if you don't pass the ball efficiently, you're going to have a tough day. If you don't do well on third downs in the situations in the red zone, if you don't score touchdowns, they're counting on that, with their coverages. You're going to have a tough day. And so I think it all comes down to execution. I think that was the main thing. We executed well at some times, and then other times we didn't. Had a 21-play drive. We ended with 3 points. So you want to make sure that you're scoring touchdowns on teams like this. And, that's a championship team, and we're going to have championship teams every single week. We just got to get better and just focus and execute and go out there and play our game.
As far as the rushing attack, we asked Pete about Ashton. He said, hey, it's his second pro game. We've got to bring him along. But on the whole, how important is it for this system and how you play to have that balance, and how quick do you need that to come into play to get the passing game going?
Yeah, I mean, we got to have balance, but we can pass on anybody. We know that. But it's not about what we can do in the pass game. It's about what we can do as an offense collectively. Again, balance is the key to anything, to offense. We got to run the ball when we need to. We got to pass the ball when we need to. And we got to be efficient in both. So we'll get better at it. We'll find ways to get better at it, find ways to be more efficient, and look towards the future. I think we got a lot of good things ahead of us. We just got to work at it.
Geno, this was your first home game being the Raiders starting quarterback. Can you give us your impressions of the stadium and the fans, please?
The fans were tremendous. I thought the atmosphere was great. Monday night game, first home game of the season. I thought it was awesome. I really wanted to get a win for the fans. Wanted to put on a better showing, obviously. But those are the things that we got to improve on, and we got to own home field. And so we're going to, make the proper adjustments and get right back to it.
All right, thank you guys. Thanks, Geno.
Thank you, guys.